Many researchers feel torn between academia and industry. The question is often framed as, which one is better? I don't think that's the right question. The better question is, which environment fits your goals, values, and working style better? Coming from an academic researcher who has observed and worked alongside industry-driven research environments, I want to share how I think about this choice from an academic perspective. Before I start, I want to be clear about my perspective. I have built my career in academia. I have not spent years in industry research, but I have observed it closely and I've had limited direct exposure through applied research environments. So what I'm sharing is not operational industry advice, but a strategic comparison to help you think more clearly about this choice. What I hear most often about industry research is that it is fast-paced, outcome-driven. Projects usually have clear timelines, defined deliverables, a focus on results that bring value or profit. Once a project is completed, teams often move on quickly to the next one. This creates a lot of topic diversity, but less room for long-term exploration or playing around with ideas. I often think of industry research as similar to management or strategy consulting. Consultants work on different problems, different industries, short timelines. They deliver solution, wrap up the project, and move on. Industry research often follows a similar rhythm. This can be exciting, but at the same time, it can also be stressful because timelines could be very tight and expectations could be high due to the client's needs. Another big difference is work structure. In many industry environments, research is closer to 9-to-5 job. You come in, you do your work, and you leave. Work is more contained. In academia, however, work is much more open-ended. You may think about research in the evenings, on weekends, even in the middle of the night, or while reading unrelated material. This flexibility can be freeing or overwhelming, depending on your personality type. I have also several personal observations. I had some industry internships during my studies and later on during my PhD. For example, I had a short research experience in a research environment that focused heavily on industry projects. Companies would bring projects and the institute would execute them. What I observed was very clear. People came to work, they did their tasks, and they left. Research was treated as a profession, not a lifestyle, which was a big difference for me at that time after academia. That observation stayed with me because it highlighted how different the two cultures can be. Academia, in contrast, offers much more room for creativity overall. If you're a faculty member, also you work with a lot of students who can bring new ideas and you are free to explore them if something catches your interest. Projects can evolve over time. If you receive funding for one project, it is often acceptable for ideas and experiments to overlap across projects, as long as there is no abuse of funding. This creates intellectual flexibility in a sense that many researchers value deeply. In academia, there is often subtle feeling that you're working for yourself. Your research builds your CV, your reputation, your laboratory, your long-term direction. This creates a sense of autonomy, even though the system has constraints and limitations. In industry, you are usually contributing to a larger organization that can be motivating or limiting, depending on your personal values. Another important difference is risk. Industry research, like any industry, can change very quickly. Projects and departments restructure, layoffs can happen suddenly if there is low profit, for example. I recently read about the large-scale layoffs in pharmaceutical companies where thousands of researchers lost their jobs in just one day. In academia, especially in tenure-track systems, career paths are usually more stable on average. once you reach certain milestones. Salary comparisons are complicated and depend heavily on country and field. In general, industry research often pays more, especially early on. Academia can also be very competitive, particularly at senior levels or in systems with strong grant funding. Again, depending on the country and the region you are in. When it comes to patents, there is another difference. In industry, patents usually belong to the company. In academia, patents are typically owned by the university, but the inventor's name remains associated and the revenue is often shared. This can offer more flexibility for spin-offs and long-term ownership, depending on the institution. How should you choose? Ask yourself, do I enjoy fast-paced, outcome-driven work, or do I prefer long-term exploration? Do I want clear boundaries between work and my life, or flexible, open-ended work? Do I value autonomy and intellectual ownerships, or structure and organizational support? There's no universally correct answer. There's only a strategic one which suits you. So you have to find out more about yourself, what your personality type is, and what country and the region you are in. Depending on the personal circumstances, you may use this information given in the video to decide. Academia and industry research reward different personalities, different values, and different definitions of success. The best choice is the one that aligns with how you want to think, work, and live. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you're interested in how I got my assistant professor position, then watch this video. Thank you for your attention. I will see you in the next one.